Of the many curses that plague low-budget movies, maybe the most intractable is slow pacing. A movie can be implausible, poorly acted, badly lit, even cynical and exploitative, and still be enjoyable. But slow pacing will kill a movie faster than anything else. No such curse troubles Jerry Warren's Teenage Zombies, which, whatever else you might say about it, moves at a breakneck speed. Opening at a malt shop, as so many 50s teen horror movies do, Teenage Zombies is well on its way by minute 4, as a quartet of clean-cut youths conspire to go powerboating and water skiing, and while so doing find a deserted island they've heard rumors about. Once on land, they wander curiously up a path toward what looks like the home plate fence of a baseball field. Here we're treated to the movie's one genuinely spooky moment. The baffled kids stumble on a caravan of what appear to be slack-jawed slaves or inhuman creatures, presided over by a regal woman dressed in black. She spots them, and alarmed, they beat feet. Returning to their point of disembarkation, they find their boat has vanished. They circle the island looking for it. The boys once again encounter the woman in black, who invites them into her house. She promises to help them find their boat, but instead lures them and their girlfriends into a trap with the help of a burly man-beast named Ivan. Meanwhile, back in town, Maury and Dottie, mousy friends of the abducted teens, note their absence and raise alarms with the town sheriff. After he proves little help, they strike out on their own with better luck, following the foursome's trail and bumping into the woman in black themselves. She assures them she knows nothing of the quartet's whereabouts, but they remain unconvinced. Nevertheless, she inexplicably allows them to return to town, where they go on trying to find help for their missing friends. As they're leaving, though, Dot and Maury cross paths with two suspicious-looking men arriving at the island. They turn out to be colluding with the woman in black to create a mind control gas for a communist invasion and enslavement of the United States. Ivan is the result of an early experiment in their effort to create this gas, and the 4 captured teens are next in line to be guinea pigs. Unsurprisingly, Teenage Zombies has tons of issues. Dreadful lighting, overbearing soundtrack, a meandering denouement. Still, it's helmed by Jerry Warren, who would later direct the notorious Wild World of Batwoman, and compared to this second film, Teenage Zombies is a masterpiece. Even taken on its own merits, it's not without certain innovations. By 1957, the movie was evidently released in '59, but the title card says different, so presumably there were distribution issues. Horror pictures about mad scientists in isolated labs were already fairly old hat. In them, the scientist is invariably a crazed hermit and megalomaniac seeking revenge on the established medical community. And also, almost invariably, he's a man. So Warren's twist of making the scientist a female enthralled to a foreign government is a welcome one. It's also a shrewd move on Warren's part to trade in the old theme of limb and brain swapping, the standby of mad science yarns since Frankenstein and before, for the then timely bugaboo of mind control. Fascination with brainwashing was soaked into the pop culture of the 50s and early 60s. The term had only been coined a handful of years before, after some troubling events involving American POWs in North Korea. So Teenage Zombies probably felt a bit fresher at the time than other contemporary science-gone-wrong outings like Eyes Without a Face and The Head. On the other hand, I wouldn't want to overemphasize Jerry Warren's political agenda, since I don't know that he was cleverly trying to tap the zeitgeist with Teenage Zombies. His main preoccupation seemed to be less about the Cold War than it was about hot, young, hypnotized girls in cages. In fact, maybe I should have started with that. Having suffered through Wild World of Batwoman, in which the villain Ratfink entrances one of Batwoman's henchwomen, bids her to dance and indulges in several other overtly fetishistic activities besides, I wasn't terribly surprised to see something similar in Teenage Zombies. Once captured, the teens are kept in gender-segregated cages, and Ivan reserves a disconcerting fascination for the females. The tomboyish Pam with her distracting short shorts and prim and proper Julie.
Every time he comes here, I'm afraid he's going to open the door. The way he looks at me.
Interestingly, Ivan seems to prefer the sexless Julie to Pam, even though the latter is showing quite a bit more skin. The scene in which he ogles Julie and she registers his gaze is one of the very few close-ups in the movie. I suppose this is probably a transparent coquettishness typical of the era, where the leer that endangers female virtue coaxes just the right level of anxiety, while an openly brazen, lusty, bodily look, which is what Ivan ogling Pam would have amounted to, might have provoked theater riots. It's also unsurprising when, later on, first Julie and Pam, and then the lady in black, now revealed to be one Dr. Myra, fall victim to the mind control gas and shuffle about aimlessly and vacantly, but not entirely unalluringly, while Reg and Skip try to figure out how to set things right.
Their minds are gone, just like the rest.
It's also worth noting that while every female save Dot ends up entranced at one point, no male but Ivan, who presents a fait accompli in any case, is similarly brainwashed. For the two men colluding with Myra, the mere threat of the gas is enough to set them singing like stoolies. I suspect all this is a matter of Jerry Warren's personal proclivities, but I'm also certain it went over famously among the adolescent boys who were the main demo for movies like Zombies back in the repressed Eisenhower years. In fact, it also dates well. I'd be surprised if somewhere on the internet there isn't a fetish site devoted to the quaint but hypnotastically erotic works of Mr. Warren. Of course, if this bit dates well, it's about the only part of the movie that does. Teenage Zombies enjoys what I feel is an unearned reputation as one of the worst movies ever made. Though compared with so many others I've seen, I actually find it quite serviceable. The performances mostly get passing, if not stellar grades. The crappy lighting is often an accidental virtue, giving some moments a Caligari meets Verite feel. And if the story would never be mistaken for Tolstoy, at least it moves along at a crisp pace, until it falls apart at the end, that is. Some of the things that critics cite as implausibilities, such as the fact that Myra's mysterious island is only 30 or so miles out to sea, and yet no one seems to know about it, were obviously added for their psychological and narrative resonance rather than for their logic value. In other words, the island's haunted, therefore of course no one knows it's there. All in all, I found Teenage Zombies a fun watch, and in any case, if you think this is bad, wait till you see some of the other movies I'm hoping to review in future editions of Mill Creek Reviews.
Do what you think best. Let me know what you decide.
We certainly will.